Okay, welcome back to my channel. So today is day 3 of my daily exercise, my daily weightlifting. So it's the same thing, 2 sets of chest flies, lateral raises and bicep curls, and curly bar curls and curly bar press. So yeah, in this video I'm gonna talk about more about like what I do and about what is my goals. So so right now I have an online school where I teach offshore operations, and I teach about offshore. I teach about drilling rigs. I teach about rigs and the more like vocational side of petroleum engineering. And so yeah, I lift weights now. Like operators and assistants had operators and assistants had to be a little strong, because they have to lift like cores of rock. They have to operate heavy machinery, lift heavy chains, attach the chains to well logging material. So in the field of engineering, it's a more, it still is male dominated, but it's a physical field as well. It's a OSHA field. So you have to think like occupational health and safety with like chaining, well logging technology, things that will core the well, and you have to lift heavy metal hand slips. Hand slips is you could say, what you could call hand slips, boy. Hand slips are like clamps, or it have a word to akin it to. It's like plugs. So it's like plugs that go into a rotary table. So a rotary table is essentially a section of the platform of the of the area. So is a section of that area that the pipe goes through with the machinery on the rig. The turntable is the turning force with something called a hand slips. So hand slips is like the grip, or the gripper, or the connecting device between the turning table and the drilling pipe to unscrew the drilling pipe when they tripping in and tripping out. So when they're taking out the whole length of the drill string, and when they're putting back the length of the drill string. And so it is a physical field where you have to clamp, you have to attach heavy clamps to the edge of drill pipe and load it onto the rack, on the derrick, on the pipe rack on the derrick, and you have to direct this heavy clamp onto this drill pipe, and then direct the pipe onto the rack. So it's part of the engineering field. So with companies, they look for healthy people with doctor checkups and stuff like that. They look for healthy, fit people who could work with machinery, and work with in a machine environment, in a industrial environment, with pipe and turning and turning force, and like very high torque turning force, and so that's where the danger comes from, the high torque. So the engine that has turned the turntable, I guess, is like 18 pistons, so that is the harmonic. There is it might be the third harmonic. It's just a repetition of the third harmonic, so it's a multiple of the third harmonic in mechanics to turn a drive shaft, and that will turn the gear on the turntable, on the rotary table. So petroleum engineering rigging is a type of field that is laborious, so that is workforce labor, and it's like blue collar, so it would be a physically demanding for the lower level workers in the hierarchy of the operations on the rig itself, coming down from the engineer and coming down from the manager and the supervisor in the operations for that rig. So but I do side eye like Trinidad Occupational Health and Safety, OSHA in Trinidad, and I do side eye like their training and stuff like that, from a college level perspective. And then in addition to that, the other thing I teach too is low level code, so binary and component allocation, so component labeling, allocation, and I guess the binary of that component. So different components in the computer, architecture, and trying to figure out exactly what is the it might be components, like, so the different components might be like a acronyms in low-level code, maybe for the actual electronic components, compartments and components in that. And so like a very simple interface that will have the board components and an input of data, an input of binary data, and input of binary data into the processor, and the processor will either store it or we will store it in the two different forms, and then it could perform computations. So, it can be like mainly a lot of graphic, I guess. So it might be components and the graphics card, and this mathematics in the computer science, it mainly deals with the components, the low-level code, so the binary or the machine code, and then I do on my own new methods of finding the root, finding the derivative, and finding the roots of numbers, and finding the derivative. So like a different way of differentiation, like my own way of finding the root, and my own way of finding the power, the root, and the differential, and these are iterative methods. And so yeah, I just create the material. I use AI a little bit, and I just create the material, and when I was investigating in Trinidad, it didn't make no sense to really do it like the standard academic way. I mean, you could do that too, but you could do your personal take on it. So this is me just hitting a bunch of flexes after. Now this workout is a real burn, and that is my talk on what I'll be doing. Thanks for watching.